We're started now. Okay. Anybody who wants to do Flight Simulator, here's what you got to do. The welcome up here first. Okay? The welcome is just a video. And if you're talking and not paying attention while I'm doing this, and you're going, I don't really care, then don't come back and ask to do it, because I want people, if they're going to do the Flight Simulator, they come back and say, what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? If you just go through the welcome here, there's first of all, a little welcome video by the Kings. It's this husband-wife combination that do flight lessons. Okay? And then the next one is Learn to Fly. Okay, in the Learn to Fly section of it, there is different videos on how to do the flying, and it's kind of nice because it is customizable. If you're doing a yoke, like is on the actual steering wheel of the plane. Kids didn't really know what I was talking about last hour when I said yoke. It's yoke, Y-O-K-E, not yoke, Y-O-L-K, yoke. Okay? Kind of like joke with a Y. Okay? Now here's the catch. It is just like a steering wheel, except the fact it goes back and forth as well. Okay? If you have a stick, like a joystick, same principle, but if you're using the keyboard, you have to understand that the up-down arrows are what's going to be controlling your pitch of the plane, the up and down. Okay? The up and down is controlled by pushing forward or back on the yoke or the stick, or the arrows if you're using the keyboard. Okay? The sideways, of course, going back and forth. And then the last one, the rudder control. Technically in a plane, you are controlling the rudder with your feet. Okay? So by pushing the rudder, think of the rudder as like a boat has a rudder that goes up and down. It's attached to the horizontal stabilizer here, and it moves back and forth to do a flat turn. Okay? Remember, in a plane, there's the pitch, there is the roll, which is the ailerons that the Wright brothers came up with, one wing up, one wing down. The ailerons, what they called wing warping back then. And then the last one is the yaw. Yaw is just that flat turn. On a plane, the rudder does that. And, whoo, I hope the leg lamp's okay.
Yep, it's good.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He was trying to pull. Oh, I slipped.
Okay, eyes on you! I guess I'm going to have to do a little video editing here. I was hoping to not have to put this, when I have to edit it, I have to stop, put it on the computer, go through, cut section out, then I have to go back, import it back in, and it's just more of a pain if I can just go send to YouTube. That's so much easier. Okay, lastly, the last one, after you do the lessons, then that's when you create a flight. Okay, that's the section we're at here. Create a flight. Okay, you get to pick what airplane you want. Okay, you get to pick your weather. So you can also set a reality setting. How realistic do you want it? Do you want it where you can bounce into the ground on your side and bounce right back? Or do you want it where the plane blows up and explodes and you die? Okay, that's all things that you can change. Okay, the Cessna, so you go into select aircraft manufacturer, the standard plane that you would learn to fly is a 172 Skyhawk, 172 SP. Then there's a Sky Lane down here, 182, a 182 RG. The RG stands for retractable gear. That's a real term that the Cessna uses for a plane with retractable gear is RG. Okay? And I should mention, by the way, if you're using RG, the key to putting the gear up and down is the G key on the keyboard. Okay? There is no button for it, so you just hit the G key. Okay? This is the one I fly. This one is a Caravan amphibian. So my real passion, flying floats. I'd love to be able to take off and land on water wherever you want. Take off, land there. This is customized, the ATC Air Traffic Controller name, November 5417 Hotel. That is the plane that I used to fly quite a bit. And then up here's a little description. If you're looking for a new flying challenge, you'll find behind the controls of the Caravan Amphibian. The Amphibian's the largest single-engine float plane currently manufactured and is a versatile aircraft. It talks in here at max speed 175 knots. And cruise speed, it's got all these specs on there. We got that. After we get that, we go okay. I picked that plane. Now it'll customize it and put your ATC number on there. Current weather will go clear. Current location, MEIGS, that's in Spokane, Washington. You probably don't want to fly out of there. If you want to fly out of Lewiston, you can go in here and either pick your global region, state, province. You could go to Idaho, or you could go over here to the city and just put Lewiston, okay? You could go in here to airport ID. Does anyone know the airport ID for Lewiston?
675.
I think it's KLWS. KLWS.
What a number.
Okay.
Is Spokane GEG?
GEG, yes. Yeah, look at there. It came up Lewiston, Nez Perce County.
I know Los Angeles is LAL.
Actually, LAX.
Or that's what I meant.
Yeah, LAX. Okay. Now, current weather, the date, the time, everything's good now. We change it to Lewiston, Nez Perce County. Fly now. Okay. Now, if you have went through those lessons that told you what key to use for what option, okay? Anybody that wants to use the actual flight simulator there, this stuff is probably, kids fight over it in class, it's probably better suited to have like a club, like an aviation. If I did an after-school aviation club, would anybody be interested in going to it? Like want to learn to fly. It was people that wanted to be there. They come in. Here is our cockpit now. Okay. You can adjust all this if you want to see more outside and less of the cockpit. You can do that just by dragging that down. Okay. Two ways I can do that. I have an S key on my keyboard. So if I press S, notice how it's changing all my scenes. That's the tower view.
That's cool.
Okay, and it says the parking brakes are on, so press period to release them. I have a hard time flying using just the keyboard. Okay, I released my brakes. I went full throttle, the F5 key.
And we're on.
You can't hear it very well, but that's the idea. Here's the S key. Every time a plane takes off, it has an incredible amount of torque. So it's going to want to go off the runway.
Fly like that.
So,
So
oh, that's too much, too fast. We're going to hear the stall warning. Now, the nice thing about this over any other flying, I can pause it. And I can look over and go, oh my gosh, what's going on? That is way too steep of an attitude. Okay? You don't want that. Okay? There's altitude and attitude. Let's stop right there. I'm done talking.